Hello and welcome back. My name is Thomas Rosén. I'm here today with my colleague Antti.
Hello, my name is Antti Salli.
And what is today's topic?
Today we are discussing about best practices when installing room transmitters and room control units inside of the room.
Yes, it's very much to think about and
Yes.
what's best practices.
Exactly. It's a quite easy task, but there is a certain things that you need to take account when installing the devices on the wall.
Okay, should we go through them one by one, what we can figure out?
Definitely, I have a very good list here on my memory.
Yeah.
If we start from the sunlight.
Yes, direct sunlight.
Exactly.
Avoid at
Yes,
all costs.
avoid that. When you are installing a transmitter or any measurement device on your wall, direct sunlight can cause heating inside of the box, and that makes a measurement error.
Yeah. Then we also have the distance from the windows and doors. One thing to avoid to have it too close to the windows or doors. The windows generates cold air flow.
Yeah, definitely. It is especially here in Nordic countries. At the winter time, you can even feel how the cold air is flowing from the door and the window corners.
And also you usually have a radiator under the window that generates heat also that would interfere with the measurement.
Yes, all of those are affecting the measurement.
Yeah. What's the next on our list?
Well, I would say also what is very important to remember is that when you are installing transmitter or measurement device, if there is a door, don't install behind of the door because people are keeping doors open and it can block the measurement device behind of the door.
Yeah. And also good practice in a normal office room and keep the door closed if you have a room controller inside the room, because then the room controller can do the best work and don't need to fight the corridor air flows coming into the room.
That's very good highlighting, Thomas, because if you open the door, it will mess up the cooling and heating system.
Yeah.
So,
and it's not probably balanced to take care of that kind of big...
And that's totally inefficient. And that's totally inefficient way of cooling or heating.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, also what things that you should avoid is, example, install measurement devices very close each other.
Oh yes, like top of each other. I have seen sometimes in some situations in the field.
Like here we have a measurement device and the air should flow through the device.
Yeah.
And if you install too close on the top, it can block the airflow from the device.
And if the device itself generates some heating, it will be introduced to the device on the top.
Exactly, so it works both way. It can and heat is always going up.
Yes.
So if you have some device that is generating the heat under our measurement device, it will affect the measurement.
Absolutely. Yes, and also you shouldn't mount anything close to a copy machine or something that generates a lot of heat, or refrigerator or whatever you have, some kind of electrical device that generates heat. Or
definitely. One good example is like these LCD TVs or plasma TVs.
Yeah.
Those are producing a lot of heat, and that will definitely affect your measurement. It is very important that the measurement device is installed on correct height, usually from 150 to 180 from the floor.
Yeah, and that is a kind of a good general rule to keep within those limits to have a best working product.
Exactly.
Then we have walls that have some external air ducts going behind, or if it's an outside wall facing to the outside, that is also generating temperature differences in the wall that can also affect the device itself.
That's true, and I think very thin walls in older buildings might be affected of that.
Yeah, you can have a much colder air behind that. It cools down the wall quite much, and is misleading for the room temperature measurements.
That's very true.
And another important thing is when you have flush mounting boxes in the wall, those need to be airtight sometimes, because you can have inner walls with the spacing inside, and you have plastic tubes with the cables inside, and you can have a pressure difference between the room and the outside room and the inner wall. And that will generate the air drag inside this flush mounting box going inside the wall, and that air drag can also very much affect the temperature readings in the device. Just make sure to isolate your flush mounting box in a proper way, and you shouldn't have any problem with the misreading of a temperature in the room from the device.
This was short introduction on the best practices when installing any measurement device on your room. I hope that you enjoy, and we will see in coming episodes.
Thank you very much for joining.